Hi, everyone. We're just going to give it a couple more seconds for people to join in, and then we'll get started. All right, looks like everyone's here. So good afternoon. My name is Shannon, and I am the product evangelist with Runding.
And I am Aaron. I'll be your moderator today, and I'm generally our tech lead and product manager.
Excellent. All right, so thank you. We are going to cover the milestones extension for our schedule today. I'm going to chat a little bit before we dive into a live demonstration, and then we will have ample time for Q&A at the end. Just as a reminder for anyone watching this as a recording, you can always send in your questions to us either through email, through Kahua, through your partner to get those answered. So starting off, let's touch on who we are. So at Runding, we've worked with Kahua for over 6 years, and our developers, Aaron, are experienced with not only how the platform works, but with Kahua's mission. We have worked with them on some of their most in-depth integrations, including GSA, which is what led to the development of the initial version of our schedule. Our applications are designed to look and work just like they were any other Kahua application. And like Kahua's application, our roadmap is heavily influenced by user feedback. Everything you're seeing today is all part of user feedback. So before we dive into milestones, just a quick refresher on what's included with our Schedules suite of apps. So Schedules on your left bridges the core data of Schedules into multiple Kahua apps shown on your screen. When you bring in Earned Value, which is a paid addition to the Schedules suite, that bridges your cost-loaded schedules to the cost application suite within Kahua. So part of that core schedules package is an extension to this milestones application. Milestones or schedule driven milestones are optimized for Microsoft Project, but it's one of the core features that will work within Primavera. So looking at that milestone relationship, the extension allows scheduled tasks to link to specific milestones. This can be done through the task edit interface or the multi-edit interface within the schedules application. We will be diving into that as part of the demonstration. And then once that connection is made, it will persist through revisions, allowing for dates to automatically update as your project progresses. So on the screen now are the fields of milestones and how they're represented. This extension is in the setup. It allows for multiple scheduled tasks to influence the dates of a single milestone. So in your estimated start date will be the earliest of all your estimated start date entries, end date, the latest of all your estimated dates, start date, earliest of your actual dates. Where it changes is that actual end date. So this is going to be the latest of all, or it will be blank. So say you have 3 scheduled tasks going to one milestone, 2 of them have completed, 1 hasn't. That third one that has not completed, the milestone itself is not completed. So it will see that and keep that blank and open, which will ensure that your reporting is accurate. So by default, users get to select which milestones are linked to by the scheduled tasks, but with Microsoft Project, you can configure your schedule to link automatically by either the task name or one of the 10 custom text fields that are available within Microsoft Project. We'll look at that a little bit more in depth in Kahua. So on your screen, I have 2 Microsoft Project files. Both of those are going to be represented in the Kahua demonstration. One, I'm using a one-to-one relationship, so one scheduled task to one milestone with the task name. And then in the demonstration we'll be starting with, I'm using text one. So I have a many-to-one relationship. So we'll see that schedule development, risk assessment, and permit acquisition, which are on your screen as a task name, are all feeding to one. So one is my first milestone. So let's go ahead and dive into that in Kahua. So on your screen now, we're in the Schedules app. We're in the task portion of that application. And down here, you're going to see that, well, we can go up. I can show you what I was doing with planning the one. So we have those 3. They're all completed. But the ones I want to dial into actually are the milestone for interior construction. So we have 4 scheduled tasks feeding this milestone. 2 of them are completed, 1 is in progress, and 1 hasn't started yet. So first, if I were to, look at this as a snapshot, my estimated start date should be November 28th. My estimated end date should be December 19th. Actual should be the 28th as well, and I shouldn't have an actual end date. So if I go into one of these and I go into this milestone link, so all of these tasks that are linked, if I click on that, it brings me right into the milestone app, which brings me into the details of that milestone. And I'll see here that I have the 28th for my estimated and actual start date as expected, my completion date, December 19th, perfect, that's what I want to see. And I don't have an actual completion date because the milestone's not completed yet. And then I have these other date areas with my percent complete. The effective date is the data date from the schedule file itself. So I know that all of these dates are accurate through the 10th of December this year. Now, if I wanted to go and edit it, this is where the changes really are relevant. I can edit some of these detail sections, though I definitely suggest not doing that because that number is what's linking our scheduled task and our milestone. But here, if I go to the dates, these are all read only. This is the big change with your schedule driven milestones. My schedule is driving these dates. So I am currently logged in as an administrator and I don't have rights to edit. So this is locked down just to make sure that when you're bringing all of these dates into any reporting, any analytics that you have that's getting milestone data, that you know that, yeah, the source of truth is my schedule. And just looking at this as a snapshot, I have all of these dates here. So let's jump into a smaller project, that turnover one. Now, a little fun fact about me, my last job, I actually worked for a rental company. So this was something that we did. I took some liberty with dates because a lot of times these small turnovers were done within 24 hours. So here I have milestones that don't have any dates attached to them. So let's say that I go into the schedule and I'm going to submit it. I already put it in, submit, and this will take a second. So with this example, what I'm showing is by using the milestones, I have this additional source of truth that I can use for reporting. So by having this come over automatically from my schedule, the punch list that I have in Kahua here. So as our maintenance techs go through this punch list and start to complete those, where I'm getting my schedule data from the office manager, from the maintenance manager, that they're filling in those data features into Microsoft Project and then bringing them into Kahua, I have 2 sets. So I can see the date. And if I have one punch list item like that is checked off, I can look at the date and see that this was actually done. So I have some checks and balances to make sure that my apartment's ready for the next tenant at the right time. So now that that has processed, if I go back to milestones, you'll see that every single milestone now has a date attached to it. And if I go into schedule and into tasks, it will match the dates that are here. The only ones that aren't attached are our summary lists. Now, if I wanted to do this manually, I'm just going to click on this one. I have 2 ways of doing that. I can go into edit under my schedule tasks, and I can go here and I can choose the milestone. You can only choose one. So I know that that one's new batteries. So I can select it and save. If I have multiple, which we'll just select a few of these, I'm going to bring them up. I get this multi-edit field or multi-edit screen, which is very similar to multi-edit in any areas of Kahua. And I get that same drop-down. This drop-down is a lookup field that brings over all of the milestones that are available to me for this project. So I could choose one of those for each one and then save, which we're not going to do because we didn't make any changes. All right, so let's get back to the demonstration. Aaron, were there any questions that we had?
Not at this time, but feel free to drop any if you come up with some.
Great. So I will wrap this up. Again, if you are watching the recording, do not hesitate to send us those questions. We're always looking for feedback to make sure that this application is exactly what our users expect. So on behalf of the Runding Data team, thanks for joining us today. We're always excited to bring more knowledge around our schedule and help bridge that gap between scheduling and project management within Kahua. So we do these once a month. Thanks for joining us for the last one of 2024. We're going to kick this off again next year on the 9th with core schedules. Before I close us out, any last minute questions?
Nope.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.